Welcome into Seattle Seahawks Today again for is this the second, third? There's a lot been going on around Seattle, and we're going to have one more video for you guys today after Pete Carroll, John Snyder's press conference that shed some interesting light. Let's begin with the Colin Kaepernick conversation. Carroll says that Colin Kaepernick contacted him recently, and Carroll says he deserves a second chance, but doesn't know if that's in Seattle. Just notes it's second chance time in the NFL. I'm going to spend a lot of time on this. I think what's really going on here is Pete Carroll is mouthing nice platitudes. I'd be pretty shocked and frankly confused if the Seahawks went out and added Pete Carroll or added Colin Kaepernick. He has not played since 2016, the end of that season. He might still be in shape. Cool. He posted on social media this week that he is ready for a return. He threw balls with Tyler Lockett. He also went 1-10 his last year in San Francisco. And did I mention that was in 2016? He is in his age 35 season, and he hasn't played in almost 6 years now. That's a long friggin' time to be out of the NFL. Look, I've said this before, and I will say it again, even if some people don't like it. Colin Kaepernick got screwed by the NFL. Undoubtedly, that is why they settled. There was collusion to keep Colin Kaepernick out of the NFL. And Pete Carroll once said if something happened to Russell Wilson, he'd sign him. And that something happened last year. And that he thought Kaepernick was a starter, but, we don't need a starter in Seattle. It's lies. That's what that is. If you really felt that way, if you thought there was a starting quarterback on the open market who was available cheap, you'd go sign him. All of the other real comments from Pete Carroll were a lot more about Drew Lock. So, even though I do think Kaepernick got screwed, no, I don't want to sign Colin Kaepernick. I don't think it makes any sense for this organization in the year 2022 of our Lord. Do you want the Seahawks to sign Colin Kaepernick? We'll leave this up to you guys. Let you guys chime in. Why for yes and for no? Do you want Seattle to sign Colin Kaepernick? Hell, I'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. The ad break comes on YouTube. Take advantage of it. Why for yes and for no? Like I said, I'll pass. What does Colin Kaepernick bring to my organization at this point in his NFL career? Why am I signing a 35-year-old QB with zero upside for my organization? What is he going to be? Best case scenario. What is he? The 20th best QB in the NFL? That does nothing for me as an organization. If this exact scenario happened in 2017, 2018, totally different conversation. He hasn't played an NFL game since 2016. He might got low mileage on his tires. I don't see how it makes any actual football sense to bring in Colin Kaepernick. He should have been signed a long time ago. Hell, maybe he'd carved out a Chase Daniel career by that point. I'd rather see what other QBs can do at this point that are younger and have more future upside for you. All right, rant over. Let's talk free agency. Now here, the Seahawks have made some more moves with their roster. They've added, Austin Blythe. We'll get to that here. And I'm sure you guys know by now what moves have happened. Grade the Seahawks for me so far in NFL free agency. A, B, C, D, or F. Head down there and drop a grade for me in the comments. Really intrigued by this move. Austin Blythe, who if you've been subscribed to the channel for a long time, you know how much we talked about him last year as a prime free agency option. He didn't have any interest, really, in free agency last year. There was no major input. He ended up signing basically a vet minimum deal with the Kansas City Chiefs in his age 29 season. He was a backup, played like 10 snaps. Now, he's getting a $4 million deal? He might start for you now, which I am surprised by. I thought that a 1 year, $4 million deal would have made all the sense in the world last year. When nobody picked up Blythe, I assumed, okay, the NFL doesn't like him the way I liked him, the way many of you guys liked him. Now he gets to reunite with Shane Waldron, of course, the Seahawks offensive coordinator. I wonder if Ethan Posick's going to come back. Now, they kind of gave him the Posick deal to be your insurance starter at center. I am surprised it went for this much. I am a bit confused by it. You could have paid him $2 million last year and got him on your roster with ease. It would have doubled his salary. Now you quadruple after a 10-snap season? It's weird. It's weird is what that is. We are getting closer to 25K subscribers here on Seattle Seahawks Today. Maybe one day we'll do crazy Raiders live shit that my boy Mitchell Wren's doing right now. But if you want that to happen, you got to subscribe that we can get that number of subs. Hit that big red button and join us for more free videos on the Seattle Seahawks. Let's talk Drew Lock now. Are the Seahawks in on Drew Lock? That's what at least was said publicly by Pete Carroll today. More on that coming up. But first, it is almost March Madness. And if you want to count the playing games, we're already in March Madness and the conference tournaments as well. You can bet on all kinds of NCAA tournament prop bets with our friends over at BetUS. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code Seahawks125. That'll get you a 125% deposit bonus when you use promo code Seahawks125 at chatsports.com/bet. You can bet on the first one seed to be eliminated. Baylor leads the way, plus 150. Kansas, Arizona, and Georgia at plus 350 if you get it right. Ooh, nice little return on your investment there. Head over to BetUS today, and remember to use promo code Seahawks125 for that deposit bonus. A lot of quotes coming out of the press conference today from from Pete Carroll. Here's one from Andrew Siciliano. Pete Carroll says the Seahawks loved Drew Lock in the draft, and this also came into second chance conversation, which is what Pete Carroll spent most of the time on, was Drew Lock, not Colin Kaepernick. Lock would be on, I guess we can call it second chance, second team. Again, he's not that good. It's fine to have your pre-draft priors. I get all that, but this is a QB for his career, sub 60% completion percentage, barely got to 4,000 yards in quite a handful of starts, and has 25 touchdowns against 20 interceptions. It's not great. It's just not. That's why I call him Tank Commander Drew Lock. So what is your confidence level then in Lock as QB1? You got to go at least one. I'm on the lower side, or up to 100 if you think he's better than Russell Wilson is. Tom, you're on crazy pills. Drop your confidence level for me in the comments section. To be blunt, for me, it's not high. 10. I've seen him. I've studied him. I've seen him not be the guy in the NFL. It's not who he is. So from that perspective, we'll wait and see from that point. I don't believe that much in Drew Lock. All right, Trent Brown, let's talk him. Then we'll mention some breaking news here on Benson Mayowa that's coming across the wire as we're filming it. The Seahawks and Trent Brown are in talks. Brown told Josina Anderson this: as you know, I got a visit to Seattle tomorrow. Patriots are still in the mix. I'm still open to weighing other contenders. I'm just trying to see all that will present itself to me right now. The Seahawks are literally quite high on Trent Brown, which is interesting. At his best, he is a very good either right or left tackle for any NFL team. He's been a good football player in the past. Have also been weight issues for Trent Brown in both New England and both in then Oakland, now Las Vegas. So you sign Trent Brown, that's your starter at right tackle. I would assume you keep him on that side. You could flip him to left, but I think he's a right tackle at this point in his NFL career. If Trent Brown is in shape, sure, bring him in. I don't think he'd be that expensive. If you're looking for a short-term option, you can still groom Jake Curran. I do think Trent Brown makes sense from that perspective, but I'm also not sold he's like your long-term answer. But you got to sign players for Seattle. I got no major issues cost depending on that one. All right, as we sit here filming this, Benson Mayowa, he's out of here. He is being released by the Seattle Seahawks. This saves about $1.45 million. Also comes in the wake of Uchenna Nwosu signing his deal, 2 years, $20-ish million with Seattle. Mayowa not really a huge scheme fit at this point for the organization. I'm not shocked he ends up being released. I would wonder what the role for Carlos Dunlap becomes now. Kerry Hyder as well. But Mayowa's time appears to be over in Seattle with some minimal cap savings.